video update for day -4. This is Kato. Day -4, Kato had 2 medicines. He had the fludarabine and ATG. So the fludarabine was the same as day -5. It's just a 30-minute infusion. So he did that totally fine. And then he had to do the ATG. And for the ATG, they do pre-meds for that. So he gets Tylenol, Benadryl, but he is allergic to Benadryl, so he actually gets Atarax. And then they do a steroid because it's just more likely to get a reaction with the ATG, so that's all precautionary. And he actually has already done ATG. He did ATG last year. It's an immunosuppressive therapy, and that was our first plan for treatment. Sometimes that can fix aplastic anemia. In his case it didn't, which is why we're here. But the ATG can actually come from either a horse or a rabbit. So last year he did the horse ATG, and for the conditioning now for his bone marrow transplant, they switched to the rabbit. So he started the rabbit ATG, and about an hour into the infusion, he had fallen asleep because the pre-meds make him sleepy. And in his sleep, he started complaining. He was saying "ow" in his sleep, and he was saying "mommy" in his sleep. And he was just kind of started tossing and turning. And I filmed a little bit of that, all included in the video. But it escalated really quickly. From just kind of mumbling in his sleep to being like a hysterical, like in pain. He was grabbing his head. He was squinting his eyes, like he could not open his eyes. He was so sensitive to light. And then he vomited. His heart rate was going crazy. His blood pressure went up to 133/80. And his nurse was in here the whole time. He saw the whole thing. He called the doctors. They rushed in here and they said stop the ATG. So they stopped the infusion. They flushed out the line that it was being infused in, and within a minute he was back to normal. I mean, it was crazy how fast it got scary, and then how fast he came out of it. But I guess what happened, what they explained, was that his blood pressure was slowly climbing, and then it just got to the point where it was, since he's low on platelets, his blood is too thin, so everything was just rushing to his head, and it was just causing an immense amount of pressure, and so that put him in a lot of pain. So they restarted the ATG, but at half the rate. So it's normally a 6-hour infusion. So he had already done an hour, so it was about 10.5 more hours to go because they slowed the rate to half the speed. And once they did that, he was completely fine. They also increased the steroid to avoid any reactions, and he did fine after that. So that was really scary. It was a little bit emotional for me to see him in that kind of pain and not know what was wrong, not be able to help him. He's saying "mommy, mommy," and you can't help him, so that sucks. And then also while he's doing the ATG, he has to be attached to cardiac leads, like the 3 stickers they put on your chest, and then also a pulse oximeter, which is like a goes on your finger or your toe to test your oxygen level. So he is stuck in bed for that whole time because those cords aren't on like an IV pole that can be moved around with you. So he was pretty bored for the rest of that day after everything calmed back down. So that was day -4. For day -3, it's going to be the exact same as day -4. So it'll be the fludarabine, the ATG, which they'll just start at 12 hours instead of 6. And we'll see how that does for him. So thank you for watching, and please pray for him. Say bye, Kiro.
Peace.
Peace. Mommy's right here, baby. Mommy's right here.
Mommy. Mommy.
Your head hurt?
Everyone.
What hurts, buddy?
Mommy.
Is that all you want to say?